right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? We are back again for the second time today. So y'all know it must have been a busy weekend if we doing Book Talk Live twice in one day, right? It's been an amazing weekend. We are joined again by some amazing authors. I know y'all are like, I only see you and this other guy. Who is wait, what in the world? Now we got to make adjustments and audibles when you're dealing with certain platforms, and on this platform especially, they got a strict number that we can hit. But we have so many amazing authors that you all are getting ready to meet, getting ready to learn from, getting ready to grow from, and I'm just excited about having him here. So we got the lead author, Mr. Chip Baker himself, the man, the myth, the legend. He does it all. I really can't say it any other way. He does it all. So how you doing today, Chip?
Man, I'm great, Sugar Ray. Man, truly grateful, excited, man. Bestseller in several categories. Man, grateful for the work, for the grind that you guys do. Just like you said, the fortunate thing is we're working with coaches. We had to make an audible and get some adjustments. So we're gonna figure out how to make it work. And I'm just grateful, man, for the opportunity. Thank you guys for everything you do, and thank you, authors and family, for being a part of this project. And it's been awesome, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And listen, for those of y'all that are tuning in live with us, go ahead and light these comments up. Let the authors know that you can see them, that you're here to support them. If it was, your family, your friends that did launch, go ahead and shoot them those congratulations, because we had an amazing launch yesterday.
Yes.
And so we're gonna make Book Talk Live today even more amazing. But before we jump in, I'm gonna let Chip do what he does best, right? I could talk about Chip all day. I can tell y'all, man. Listen, make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, Chip Baker TSC, the Success Chronicles. I can tell you to follow him on Instagram. I can tell you to follow him on LinkedIn. I can tell you to follow him on Facebook, on Twitter, and where he's dropping all this amazing content, uplifting, positive content. I can tell you about the guy that he is, that is all about helping others and putting others on. I mean, literally putting others on, from across the world. I could tell you that he's a great educator. I could tell you so many things, but I ain't gonna do that today, right? But I'm gonna let my guy, my brother, um, tell us a little bit about who is Chip Baker, and how did you come up with the impacts of influence? Because now we on volume 4, so
Yes, sir.
editions, all different, all amazing, all full of impact.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, a couple of the authors I talk to like often. I tell them every day, man. I'm continuing to be blown away every day. Truly grateful for everything. It's the season of blessings, indeed. And man, I'm just an ordinary guy, working real hard to achieve some extraordinary things, man. And so, single parent raised, small town guy that has seen that opportunities bring opportunities, and we talk about this all the time. When you strive to do things the right way, work hard, treat people right, take care of business, it's amazing how the big man sees fit to just take care of you, because of that. And really, that's what it's been to me. I'm no one special. I'm just really just working hard to strive to do things the right way and take care of the people that I care about and love, man. And that's what this has been about. My guy, there's a guy that I got connected with a few years ago. I had an opportunity to speak to a group of amazing men, and their deal and their mastermind. Then I got connected with some great guys through that. One guy does book publishing. He does a great job with his company. Oh wait, that's Sugar Ray Destin. That's you.
Come on.
Got connected with him, and he was like, "Man, you connected with some pretty good people that's doing some good things, man. You ever thought about bringing some of those people together and putting them in a book?" And I was like, that is a great idea. And from there, that conversation, man, we had the book cover in 20 minutes. Had the authors involved in like 2 days. Everybody said yes, didn't wait. And from there it took off. And so now we're on volume 4, and every one of the volumes have been multiple time bestsellers. Lots of first time authors, lots of best-selling authors in there. And so, man, I'm just grateful for it, because those people didn't have to choose to rock with me like that. But they did. And so on my end, man, I'm striving to do my best that I can to provide. I mean, it's no excuse for us not to achieve every bucket list goal that we want to achieve from this. And that's what my grind is. That's what my work is. And that's just a little bit about me, man.
Come on now, listen, and you gave the real short story of it, right?
I did. I did.
Yeah. Well, in this volume, it's all about coaches using their impact to make an influence, and so I want you to go ahead and introduce us to some of the authors. I want to hear their stories, hear a little bit about their chapters. Can we? I want to meet them, man. Come on.
All right. Well, yes, sir. What I'll do, man, I'll just run through and let you meet those guys. And the first coach, like you said, they're all coaches. And I have great relationships with them, and I'm truly blessed for that. But the first coach that we'll have up is Coach Royce Slechta. So, Coach Slechta, let's bring him on.
We got him. What's going on,
Coach? I don't know if he has the mute on.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
You good today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry. I got you on like a couple of different devices here, so sorry for the delay.
No worries at all. Well, if you don't mind, Sugar Ray, you want me to just ask him some things, or you want to hit on him?
No, I'll let you. That's why I said I'm gonna let you do what you do best.
Oh, well, let's get it. Well, hey,
guys, let's run it.
Well, let's get it. Well, Coach Sleck, man, just tell them a little bit about who you are and our connection, and then how we got here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the offensive coordinator at Dallas Jesuit, and I also serve in the spring as our assistant golf coach. And most of my career has been at the high school level. I've 27 years in the business. Different stops in Wiley and Sherman and other places. But my first coaching job was at West Texas A&M, and that's where I ran into the Chip Baker. He was one of our student athletes there at WT at the time, early 90s, 92, 93. That dates me a little bit. But anyway, he... I always knew, one thing I would say about Chip, I always knew that he was a guy that kind of had his act together. That he was grounded in, I think, just had a great spiritual foundation, and I could tell that even way back when, and so I'm not surprised that some things have gone the direction they have for Chip. But at any rate, we came connected back then, and on and off again, just with different guys that were a part of some of those teams that we had. I would see Chip at coaching school, and then he got with me about being a part of this great project, and I said absolutely. I said anything for you, my man, and so here we are. And so that kind of brings you up to date with me. This is my third year at Dallas Jesuit, and it's been a unique experience for me. I'm at a place where I don't know that I ever would have seen myself at a private school necessarily, but the opportunity presented itself. And the cool thing, I did not mention this yesterday, but the thing that I really enjoy about our school is much of the much of the topics and things that you heard from some of the authors yesterday, and life lessons, and or spiritual examples, all those things, at any point in time, I can walk into my classroom and lock it down, and we can dig into those types of things, which it's an amazing place that I work at that allows me the opportunity to do that, to be able to pour into the lives of our kids like no other. At the public level, you might bump into a few, might run into a few bumps along the way, if you did some of that. But at our place, it's actually expected of us to do those things, and so it's phenomenal, and so I'm really enjoying it.
Well, that's awesome, Coach. Well, I appreciate you being on. I appreciate you being a part of it. And I didn't say this to Sugar Ray, like, earlier when he was talking about the how it all came about. Along this journey, there's been several people, pretty much probably 90% of the people that's been in the books. I was like, hey, I'm working on doing a project. And right after I say that, they say yes, right? Like they didn't let me finish, right? And as you were saying that, I thought about that. Selector, yeah, let's go. I'm in. Like when I need to send my chapter, like he's ready on go. And it's truly a blessing to be able to have people in your life that believe in you like that. And every one of the authors, you need to know that I don't take that lightly, right? Like you don't have to do that. Right. And I don't take it lightly. And so I'm truly grateful for that. And yeah, that's it, Jessica. And grateful for that. And so we'll get to our next author. But thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
All right. Our next coach coming up is Coach Derek Rush. Not on. All right.
Hey.
What's going on, Coach? You all right today?
I'm doing great. Coach Baker. How you doing, man?
I'm good. After I'm gonna share this story and then I'm gonna let you go. But and I wanted to share this yesterday, but I know we were close on time. But there were some couple things this week that have really blessed my heart. And being with you is one of those things. I had an opportunity to be at Coach's school the other day where I spoke to some teachers there, and I surprised him with a hard copy of the book so that he could see it. And this is his first book. And so just to be able to hand that book to you and have you hold it in your hands and he was just looking at it, right? Then he looked at me, and then he looked at the book. I was like, I know it's a real book, right? Like it's real.
Right.
And so that really blessed my heart, Coach. Well, tell him a little bit about who you are and what it is you do, Coach.
Well, first of all, Chip, man, I want to again appreciate everything you've done.
Yes,
as far as giving me this opportunity, and also Sugar Ray as well. I'm just a small town country boy from Philadelphia, Mississippi, and had the opportunity to win 2 state championships in high school, as far as in football and also in basketball my senior year, and then I had the opportunity to go play for one of the top college collegiate coaches at that time, during that era, Coach Jackie Sherrill at Mississippi State, and then from there, it kind of launched my career to move to Texas. Like I said yesterday, I moved to Odessa, Texas, and I had the opportunity to meet a lot of great coaches out there in West Texas. Friday Night Lights, had a lot of opportunity to meet, like I say, a lot of great coaches, high school coaches, that is, and college coaches from that standpoint of it, and kind of grew from there. Then after that, and my career kind of took off as far as moving from there to Midland Christian. Spent one year there as a defensive coordinator, and went on to the John Tyler High School in East Texas. Wanted to get closer back to Mississippi area, and so I ended up going to John Tyler, and I spent 9 years there. The last 6 years as a head football coach there, and I had a lot of great runs, won a lot of district championships, and East Texas Coach of the Year, and all those type of accolades. And I couldn't have done that without great coaches and great kids, as far as that's concerned. And after that, I had an opportunity to move to Conroe Conroe Oak Ridge, and that's where I met the Mr. Chip Baker. He was at Conroe High School and had a stint there at Conroe Oak Ridge. And from there, I think, Chip, I don't know if you remember or not, you came, I think that was my second year there at Oak Ridge. You came and visited us during our playoff stint. And
Yes.
in the practice, we sit down in the office, and I think we talked for about an hour after practice, and it kind of clicked from there. And that's when he was at Hearns, and from there he decided to come back, and I wanted to get him back. So he came to Oak Ridge with me. I think we worked there for the next 3 years, went to war on Friday nights, and then kind of went from there. And so now I'm currently the director of athletics in Bryan ISD here in Bryan, College Station, Texas. And so, like I say, it's been definitely been a venture, but it's been one that's have been fulfilling for me as far as having the opportunity to write this chapter, and also hopefully have the opportunity to reach people's life. That's kind of my focus, as far as the impact my mom and dad had on me. My mom was a housewife, and my dad was a Baptist minister. And so you used your church folks. We was at church on Sunday, and so that kind of grounded me from that perspective as far as reaching out to kids and giving back. That's what it's all about. And so I hope this book is going to be a blessing to a lot of people, not only educators, but also kids and coaches. That's what it's all about now. I'm in the business of coaching coaches now. From that standpoint of things, and so anything I can do to be a service as far as being a servant leader in this day and age to help others, and I'm all about it.
All right, well, Coach, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And I know it'll be a blessing to so many. I just know, just like I said, it blessed my heart to see you hold that book in your hand, and the reaction is good stuff. All right. Well, our next author that we'll highlight is Jessica J-Lo Perez.
Hello. Well,
Hello.
how you doing, Chip?
I'm great, Jessica. And I just want to say thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for your efforts. You're one of those that, like I said earlier, that didn't even give me a chance to finish. Like, yes, I'm in. Like, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm in. I don't need to know. Let's go. I'm in. So I appreciate that. Truly grateful for you rocking with me and supporting the mission. And so I love for the audience to hear about what you are and who you are, because great person, come from a great family, doing some great things. And so, just tell them a little bit about, where you're from, who you are, and what you're all about, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Chip. And I feel the love coming through this little screen right here.
Yes.
The energy is jumping off. So I'm hoping I'm bringing it to your viewers too, Sugar Ray. You got some good stuff going on your end as well. And I'm blessed and grateful to be a part of this journey with both of you all, not once, but twice. Maybe even 3 times. I don't know. We'll see if third time's a charm, but for sure twice already. So I was a part of volume 3, which was my first experience as an author. So when you say a little bit about me, that wasn't something that I thought I was ever going to do, was to write in a book, to be honest. My background is similar to Chip's, man. I was an educator at heart. I wanted to give back. I wanted to give back to youth. Sports is something that's been a part of my journey from the time I was actually littler than I am right now. And you guys are going to say, what is she talking about? See, I'm 4'11", hence you're going to hear a lot about why I wrote my chapter that I did, but I'm 4'11" and I'm a multi-sport athlete. Played volleyball, basketball, softball in high school, and it just propelled me forward in everything and every piece of life that I wanted to kind of soak in. Sports was kind of the fabric that ran through it. And I was blessed to have a mom and a dad who pursued that for me and said, whatever we can do. And they just poured in. And yesterday I was blessed that my mom was able to be on one of our talks, right? And it's cool because she's 85 and she's out there in the pool right now doing what I think we all should be doing, is staying active, right? And that's why sports is just a part of who I am, no matter if it was in business life, work life, relationship life. It just is a great indicator of life lessons that we need to be a bigger, better person, every day. And so when you talk about who I am, I grew up in Tampa, Florida. I'm a native Tampanian. So I grew up with that fabric, and I'm still hopefully creating some ripples and impacts here in my hometown. How I did that was not only being the teacher and the educator, but I was a charter school founder. I've been a couple of nonprofit founders. I just really believe to give back is to serve. And that's why this book and this journey, it's not just a book with words on pages. It really is impacts that can influence you for lots of time of your life left. It really is about leaving that imprint. And so when you ask what my chapter is about, I told you I was 4'11", and guess what? It's all about supersizing. So my chapter is called The Supersizing Lot of Infinite Possibilities. It's because so many times, no matter who we are, we could be 6'11" or 4'11" like me. Sometimes we're too small in our own mindsets,
Come on.
We just never step past it. And so for me, supersizing was something I had to do from the beginning, right? To be able to want to grab a mic and talk in front of folks, to be able to go and be the pitcher of a state softball championship team, to be able to be a coach of a state champion softball program, to be able to go and play multiple sports in college and then coach them, right? But I had to supersize and step outside of the lot, and I use it like a plot of land. You'll find out if you read this book. So hint, hint, you kind of got to get the book. Okay, that's my niche. That's my hook. You got to get the book, because not only do you want to read my chapter, but you got to read everybody else's. So I'm pumped and excited to be here on this journey with you all. Thank you so much for taking the time, for checking out and following Sugar Ray's Book Talk Lives. These are awesome. I can't wait for you to hear from more authors, because we've got a good lineup left. So thank you so much, Chip and Sugar Ray. I guess that's Jessica in a nutshell, 4'11" nutshell. You can find me on social media channels. It's Jessica, and you got to look for the J-Lo in the middle, because there's a lot of Jessica Perez's. So it's Jessica J-Lo Perez on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, you name it. Find me, let's connect, and let's take this journey, not only in your health, but in your wealth and in so many facets of life. So excited to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Jessica. All right, we're going to kick it over to Sugar Ray. I think we're going to have a commercial coming up next.
Hey, listen, I'm just excited to see all of the energy, the excitement that is happening with this book. If you are not familiar with the Impacts of Influence series, you definitely want to get this volume, Impacts of Influence Volume 4. And make sure, as I always say, reach out to the author that impacted you, or that invited you, or that so that you can support them. I know we all got these Prime memberships and we all fancy dancy now. Don't do that. Don't go to Amazon and do go to Amazon and support, but also support those authors by getting it directly from them. Get that autograph copy. Something significant in that autograph. I still love when I get books autographed by the author. I'm still waiting on my autograph copies from Chip Baker, but we'll talk about that offline. All right. So
on the way.
Yeah. I already know. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 2 and 2.
Everybody has a story, and so do you. We know that you've been through life, been through heartaches, been through pain, been through depression. You've thought about writing your book for years, wanting to help change lives because of the things that you've overcome. We don't know what your story is, but we can help you turn your story into a living, breathing book that creates opportunities for you to impact lives and change the world. The Business of Books is here to teach you the opportunities that come from your book, how to write your book, how to brand yourself, how to market your book, and how to get in front of the right people to sell that book. We have an amazing team of designers, an amazing team of editors. We have a team behind you to help you get through your first book and get it to the world so that the world knows you are here. So remember, everybody has a story. It's time to write yours.
Hey, we are back. Listen, we gotta make some updates to that stuff because I think Chip, you were around when we were at like number 10. Now, if I can just take a quick moment, we're actually at after yesterday with the Impact of Influence Volume 4, and the other book that we launched. We actually hit 300.
Wow.
Just like the movie, 300, Amazon #1 best-selling author. So, listen, after this, I might go have me an adult beverage and relax for once. The work got to continue, though.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, brother. I want to take the time to say to you again, like I said earlier, like, you know, those things don't just happen if you don't put the work in. And so truly grateful for you. And then we also know that those things don't happen without a team as well. And so, you know, you and your team have done great work. And from us, from the Impact and Influence family, we are truly grateful for your efforts and energy, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Listen, as y'all here, you know, we joke like brothers, we joke like family, because I do consider Chip my family. And I'm so proud of the work that he's done. We're joined again by the authors of the Impacts of Influence Volume 4. We've already met a few of the amazing authors. We've met one of Chip's coaches, Royce Schlechter, who was on this Impact, because it's all about coaches. We met the amazing Derek Rush, and we just met Miss Jessica J-Lo Perez. She's small, but she pack a big punch. So y'all don't play around with her, right? Who you got next, Chip? What we got?
All right, our next author that we have coming up is Charles Woods. Man, great story, great guy, and he's been along this journey of all the Impact and Influence books, and so we've all grown together throughout this journey. So, Woody, you're up, man.
Greetings. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Sugar Ray, congratulations, man. 300. That's big time. Congratulations. I appreciate all the work that you've done for us. You know, like Chip said, this is my third time on a collaborative piece with Chip Baker, man. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome ride. And this is just exciting as the first one, man. We are so excited to about this #1 bestseller, this Impact of Influence Volume 4. We are so excited. Again, my name is Charles Woods. Don't want to talk too much, but I can go. But my name is Charles Woods. I'm from Conroe, Texas. I reside in Atascocita, Texas right now. I'm 21 years in education, 11 years as a coach, and 10 years. I have just made my 10th year as an administrator. There is no other profession that you can get satisfaction from and you can change lives than education, man. I didn't go to school for education, and actually I didn't want to teach anybody's kid, didn't want to coach anybody's kid, and I definitely didn't want to talk to parents about their kid. But I was kind of, one of the guys that I paid a little respect to in this chapter of this book, Dr. Poole. He was my coach in high school. He kind of convinced me to try it out for 1 year. And then you look here, 19 years later in public education, I'm still in it, man. And I love it. I think it's the best choice that I made. But my chapter is about a better life, man. I just want to kind of pay respect to the coaches that had a big impact on my life, because I truly believe without those coaches, there's no telling where I would be. As a kid, you didn't realize how rough you did have it in the neighborhood until you grow up and you kind of reflect on things and you're like, man, if there is one misplaced step, or if that coach wasn't in my life that gave me a chance or had that confidence in me, man, there is no telling where I would be. But I did go from a student athlete's point of view, and man, I could go on and on. I had to put that in one chapter. It was difficult, but I squeezed as much as I could in there with some of the coaches that had impact on me. And something that's great about it, I got to share that with some coaches as well. Like I was on a phone call with Dr. Poole last night. I've been trying to get in touch with him all week. Wasn't about the book, just to check in on him. And we ended up talking about the book last night and the excitement in his voice. And, you just don't know, man. He was excited to hear about the book. I said, your name it possibly could be in the book. He's like, are you kidding me? You mean possibly? You said possibly? But it was a great conversation, man. I love it, man. Coach Collette, my high school track coach that I also had a chance to coach with. We got to talk to him, and for him to flip through the book and see his name in the book. And me and Chip were together at that time, and just the facial expression that he gave when he saw his name in a book was priceless. A lot of things, man. But I love being on this ride, man. I love impacting others. I'm a servant leader to my heart. Will always be a servant leader. That will never change in me. Thanks for having me, Chip Baker, again on another journey. Always good to see you, Sugar Ray. Man, if like there's a bunch of awesome coaches in this book. Like, this is worth it, man. Go get the book. It is definitely worth it. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate all the viewers. I appreciate all the support. Man, thanks, Chip Baker. Thanks, Sugar Ray. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, man, and I'll just kind of go back with what Woody was saying. I told you there was 3 things this week that really just blessed my heart. I talked to you earlier about, the deal, giving the book to Coach Rush. One of the second thing, because Woods is on it, he mentioned it too. We coached with former players this week, and I had a copy of the book, and it's like he said, Coach Collette was his track coach in high school. Both of us worked with Coach Collette. We've learned so much from him, and for him to be able to see his name in that book and see the story about him in the book, man, his reaction, it was priceless to be in that moment. And again, that was the second thing that really just one of the second things that really blessed my heart this week with the book. And then as I introduced the next author, I'm gonna take a deep breath on this one. This was the third thing, Manny Trujillo. But and I'll just tell a little backstory. So Manny and I, we go way back. We're from the same hometown. Grew up. His dad was a little league baseball coach, man. Just great people, great family, great folks. And at that same lunch, Manny's son, as a family, we coach together. Manny and I, our families do family vacations together. Like he's family, right? He's brother to me, and so his son, his oldest son, is home from college at A&M. He was at that same lunch with us, with the coaches, and I had the book there, and I was able to capture a moment of his son reading his father's chapter in the book. Man, like where we're from, man, like that, like I don't know people that have done all of that, and to be able to have that opportunity for us to be together, where we grew up from, doing these kind of things, man. It truly blessed my heart. The next author I want to bring up is my guy, Manny Trujillo.
Thank you, Chip, man. I appreciate that. Be able to come in from that. Yeah, you're right. Everybody that's been blessed by Chip, man, we go way back. Probably since we were 10, 11 years old, you played little dribblers against each other, probably first. I was thinking about this. Most of the sponsors put their names on the back. No, not. I played for Star Cleaners. Chip, who did you play for?
Golden Fried Chicken.
Golden Fried Chicken. So they wanted their sponsor name up front. We ain't sponsoring no shirts to be on the back. So yeah, for you that are being blessed by Chip right now, man, for us from our hometown, we've been blessed by Chip for many, many years. Great family. Like I said, we're brothers. So I'm blessed to be a part of this project. He brought me along on volume 2 as well. So, man, it's just a great thing, so what y'all are seeing from Chip right now, us from our hometown, we've known for many, many years. Just a great guy all the way around. Just a little bit about me. I'm just finished my 23rd year in education. After graduating from Hearn, went to Sam Houston State University, and then went on to Conroe High School, where I coached for 13 years. And, a couple of those years were with Chip at Conroe High was an awesome experience for us. I think we both knew we were going to go into education and coaching, but having the opportunity to work together was amazing, was great. And we came across so many people there, got a chance to work with Coach Woods and some of the coaches Coach Woods talked about, Coach Collette. Just having a chance to learn from those guys was amazing. And then after my 13th year of coaching, I call it, I say it's the easiest but the toughest decision that I ever made, which was getting out of coaching and just to be dad. I wanted to be there for my kids, how my wife was able to manage taking my oldest son to football or baseball practice and my middle son to Taekwondo, and then my youngest daughter to dance. How she was able to do that, I have no clue. So she's a superwoman, and we need to think about that as well. All the coaches, our spouses, they're amazing. As far as my chapter, it's called Full Circle. Able to highlight 4 coaches that were instrumental in our lives. First one being my dad. He was my first coach, and like I said, he was Chip's baseball coach as well. Got a funny story that, Chip, you want to tell the glove story?
Yeah. His dad was left-handed, so he would have he would never have a left-hand glove. So he would always like throw and then switch the hand on the glove. And so like when you're throwing, you're like, man, what? So we always joke about that and remember that, man. But he didn't. There was no excuse. He just figured out a way to get it done.
Right.
And help us. Right. He could have said, well, no, I can't do that because I don't have no excuses. We're just gonna get it done. And that showed me a lot, man. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, like me and my older brothers were all right-handed. So he wasn't going to go out and buy a left-handed glove for himself. So like I say, he just adjusted. And the other 2 coaches, Coach Brian Mullinex and Coach Tommy Dotson, who were instrumental in Chip's life as well. Just be able to, give them, their flowers, that they deserve. And I know they, as a coach, we might not think we influence a lot of lives, but man, they influence so many of ours. So I'm honored to be a part of this project. Anything Chip, what he's got for me, I'm like you said, I'm not going to hesitate to, and I appreciate, him, bringing me on this journey with them. Sugar Ray, congratulations on everything. We appreciate all of your hard work. Thank you so much.
All right, Manny. All right. Well, our next author that we'll have is Hoss Tabrizi.
Happy Sunday. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Sugar Ray.
Yes, sir.
Before I say my piece, I think all of us should be appreciative of God and the success that we had wouldn't have happened without God. I'm very, very blessed and grateful for our book being so successful. I'm excited to sign my books and ship them out to the people that already got it, but I definitely need to hand deliver one to my mom and one to my dad, because my chapter is about confidence and the confidence that I have, the confidence that my kids have. it is definitely because of my parents and the things that they instilled upon me. And so with the chapter, that is something that I try to teach to others. And in there, I try to honor some legends, some coaches that I've coached with or learned from, Fred Priester, Red Jenkins. I try to honor some females that are very confident, that are very successful in life, Giselle Velez and Mia Tabrizi, two women that you see and they're just, wow, these people are very confident. A little bit about me. I'm a father of 3. I'm married to Carolyn Tabrizi, who's a teacher and a superstar athlete. And what's cool right now with where we are in life, we aren't coaching high school teams right now. We're coaching our kids, and to be able to coach our kids and just share our competitiveness and our confidence and just teach them life lessons and teach it to other people in the neighborhood. It's a true blessing. One thing I was thinking about was I was going back maybe 5-10 years, and my point guard for my high school basketball team would be like, "Coach, don't you think it's funny that we look like a golf team, and every time we come off the bus, we just look like a golf team, and people look at us and they're not afraid of us, and they look like football stars and track stars and all these things, and then we just go out there and we bury 3 after 3 after 3, and it's a 20-point lead, and the golf team just destroyed them." And it's like, I love the swagger, I love the confidence, and that comes from all the preparation and all the time in the gym, and growing up watching Kobe and Jordan and Magic Johnson, you'd always hear stories about putting in all the extra shots, especially after a loss. What are you going to do after a loss? And those are things that have definitely been part of my upbringing and just trying to pass that message along. One other thing that I thought was really cool, listening to every author so far, there's a common theme. Everyone wants to help other people. So I think everyone is either involved in education a little bit, or everyone is obviously a coach. And so with that, we think about others first and helping others. And so with this book, we're trying to impact as many people as we can and pass along messages to make people better. And so if we have people that love like this and grow others like this, then our country, our world would be a much better place, thinking about others first. And so if you get the book, read my chapter, you'll learn about confidence, read other people's chapters, you'll learn so much. Obviously, it's already a bestseller, but go get your autographed copy from the person that you care about and love about, and just enjoy the book. Now, Chip, can I introduce the next person?
Let's get it, man. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I now present to you the man, Derek Pearson.
Let's go.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Let me say this. That team that he spoke of, Haas and I sat next to each other on a ride at a program that in 30 years never won a regional title. He and I, with Doug Craig and Dermian Marshall, led that program to back-to-back regional titles for the first time in its history. It was a great ride, but it was Haas doing the extra thing, being creative, being innovative in how he led those young men and pushing them in the right direction. And of course, he and I, with our immaculate dressing on the bench, certainly didn't hurt. We went full Chip Baker on the bench. I can tell you, we'd show out. Look, we may have looked like a golf team when we got off the bus, but when the coaches came out of the locker room, it looked like Pat Riley and Chuck Daly were coming out that room. That's how we went after it there at W.T. Woodson in Fairfax, Virginia. It is a blessing, and it is absolutely joyful on this 21,862. This is my I want to say this because it's different. It is my 3,123rd Sunday. And I like to start each Sunday with a Sunday blessing, just to pause, just to redirect from that point forward to say, this day is special. This day is unique. It is blessings filled. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to say that. I am 2,152 days since 27 blood clots, 1 saddle embolism, 3 blood clots in my heart, 4 in my lungs. Tried to end my time here in this space. And since then, on that day, I pay attention, because since then, I did what I promised to do, because I asked for, as I sat in ICU on the bed with a chaplain 4 consecutive days, I said, just give me 1 more day. 1 more day. And with blood clots, they tend to get you in your sleep. So imagine being afraid to go to sleep, being afraid of not waking up, and then accepting that I'm going to wake up. And when I do, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to appreciate the blessings. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say, well done. And in between, I'm going to holler at you for being in your whatever day number you have to do whatever thing you're supposed to do on that day. On that day. So on this day, I get to mark this thing down as special. I get to mark it down as unique. I get to mark it down as authentic, because I'm spending it with you guys. I'm spending it with a crew of coaches and leaders and mentors. And you know what? When you can identify people who are active in love, purposefully active in love, those people are called superheroes. They have capes and they walk around. Oh yeah, you might call them teachers. Oh yeah, you might call them coaches. Oh yeah, you might call them family, parents, leaders. And see, I had the blessing and the gift of having a 6'4", gangly ex-Marine, former minor league baseball player who did the things that we all do on a day-to-day basis, which is we meet people where they are with love on our hands, and then we put that hand on their back and we push them forward and up. That's the mission. That's all there is to it. Put your hand on the back, use those legs of yours and walk them in the direction they need to go. Use that heart and pour that into them. And then in their head, become the voice that they carry with them from that point forward. And see, in 30 years of being a baseball coach, 30 years of being a basketball coach, 30 years of being a football coach, I coach in the voices of the people who loved me. That's who you are as coaches. That's what it is. The greatest moment of coaches is when you put that hand on their back, or you put your hand on their heart, and you touch them in a way that nobody has ever thought of, but it's exactly what they needed. And at Del Norwood, at WNL, the Fighting Generals of Washington Lee High School in Arlington, Virginia, which is where I'm from, he would put his hand on my back, and he would walk me away from whatever friction I was at, because he was the first person to say, greatness requires friction. It's what you do from the friction that determines the outcome. And he would walk you forward, away from that friction into greatness. He would push you and change your elevation and lift you up into greatness. The greatest man that I ever knew was my father-in-law, who would say, if you're ever looking for me and you ever miss me, look forward and up, because that's where everything good is. Well, imagine having these people, these impactful, influential, positive, loving people who pushed me from being a poor kid from Arlington, Virginia, not exactly academically ambitious, not exactly athletically ambitious, because as an athlete, I was better than everybody else. I just didn't work hard. But he put his hand on my back and he would whisper, give yourself a chance. Go forward now. Imagine having a guy who was gun familiar, right? He's a warrior, is one of the great ones. A guy that struck out Willie Mays, who then in his humbleness would tell you, I struck out Willie Mays, but then the next time I faced him, he hit a home run. Oh, I love you, coach. I love you for sharing that with me. I love that you told me I could play Division I baseball. All right, I already knew I could play Division I football and basketball, but he said, baseball, let's do this. And then he walked me through those friction-filled moments, and he always did it with love. And so I challenge people as you go forward. And again, when I sat in ICU with 27 blood clots, 3 in my heart, 4 in my lungs, and a saddle embolism that wrapped itself around my bronchial stem with one purpose only, which was to choke me out. The lessons that I learned on that day were simple. As I sat there with the chaplain, and it was simple. I will say this: clean your heart. Allow your heart to be clean. Don't carry things with you that don't belong there and that aren't necessary. Filter your lungs. Breathe in. Put yourself in environments that allow you to breathe in goodness, kindness, and positivity. Use your legs to go forward and up. Use them, use them, use them. And then finally, when in doubt, if you don't know which way to go, remember, love first, love last, and in between. If you ever reach friction, when you ever reach that fork in the road, love in between, because that'll get you where you're going from where you are in the best way possible. Listen, for all of you best-selling authors, you superheroes, you absolute superheroes, your capes aren't showing, but I know you got them. I know you got them. Look, flash your cape, embrace the cape. You're best-selling authors, you're superheroes, you're amazing coaches, and you are everything that's good in us. Sugar Ray, my friend, my brother, thank you for enabling good people to tell good messages with good stories. And most importantly, thank you all for your good hearts. Love y'all. That's how I'm supposed to leave you.
So, in response to that, Coach DP, I can have one word.
You faded out on us, Chip.
Back good.
No, you good. Now you good.
There you go.
All right. So I got to give it to you. I had one word in response to that, Coach DP, and that word is boom. Let's go, man.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Great stuff. All right. Our next author that we will have is Coach Jason Haddock. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. How are we doing today, Chip? Sugar
What's
Ray,
up,
thank you
Coach?
guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for having us on today. I want to start out by introducing myself real quick. My name is Jason Haddock, and I'm the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator at Clemens High School, which is down in Fort Bend ISD, down in Sugar Land on the southwest side of the greater Houston area. And I'm very blessed to have connected with Chip. And during quarantine, he reached out to me when everybody was doing Zooms like we're doing right now. And I don't know how the man found me other than the Lord put something on his heart to direct him in my direction. And we've been able to create a genuine connection. And I'm honored and blessed to be able to come in and be a part of this project and to tell my story a little bit about a coach that had a big influence on my life, that at the time when I was a 15-year-old, I don't even want to say young man at that point, just knucklehead running around, what a benefit it was to me as a young guy, and how it still is now having an effect on young men and women that I get to coach. So like I said, I'm in public school teaching and coaching. I've been doing it since 2010. I've been coaching. Prior to that, I was coaching at a private school for 3 years. I played college football and soccer, two-sport athlete at Baylor University, and had a great time doing that. And when I got done with my time, I went active duty, which is something I'd always wanted to do. Fourth-generation military in my family, and it's what I grew up wanting to do. And after an injury and getting out, my mom kind of looked at me and she said, the only other thing I ever thought about you doing was coaching. And I had some jobs that were just kind of a paycheck. It's not really what I was wanting to do. And so I thought about what my mom said to me and thought about coaches that I had when I was younger, and in high school and in college, both. I had some good coaches, but I really had one coach that impacted my life and truly inspired me. And so the chapter that I was able to write for this book is called Inspired to Coach. It was said yesterday that we've either had coaches that were inspirational to us and we want to be like them, or we've had coaches that were not very good and we want to make sure we're not like them. And I think mine really leans on I was inspired. I had a coach in high school. His name is Donnie Funderburg, and he was not very much older than me. This was his first year coaching. It was his second school he was teaching at out of college when I moved to Marble Falls as a sophomore in high school at 15. And we had almost an immediate connection. Maybe it's because we were both the new guy. Maybe it's because we were a little closer in age than some of the old coaches. But we had sort of a connection early on, and that connection continued through. I loved playing football for Coach Funderburg. And so I get to my senior year of school and think football's over. I know track's coming up, but Coach Funderburg's the head soccer coach. You know what? I've never played soccer before. I'm going to go play because I want to play for this guy. And I was inspired right away. Let me go do a different sport. By having that opportunity to go play soccer for Coach Funderburg, it gave me an opportunity to play soccer in college as my first sport. And then later on down the road, I was able to get my first 2 public school coaching jobs because, you're not just a football guy, you're a soccer guy too. Instead of hiring a coach and then going, you're also going to coach soccer. I was able to go, hey, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. I have experience. I can do that. And so being inspired as a 17-year-old to go play soccer, 17, 18-year-old to go play soccer for this coach, 10 years later gets me 2 jobs. And so now I'm in the track where I'm teaching and I'm coaching and I'm around young men and young women that hopefully I'm inspiring and that hopefully I'm making an impact on as well. Coach Funderburg is still somebody that I talk to on a pretty relatively frequent basis. When some things have happened in the programs that I've been in that have been bad, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to handle it for my athletes. That's my first phone call. Coach Funderburg, hey, this is the situation. What should I do? How should I handle this with these kids? And there was a program that I was part of where we lost one of our team members to a domestic violence situation the week before the state semifinal game. And it's like, how can I be there for the kids? And that was my first phone call. Coach Funderburg, what are your thoughts? What do you think I should do? So here now, going from meeting this guy at 15 to I'm 42 years old, Coach Funderburg still has an impact on me, still makes a difference in my life. And I have to think, am I doing service to that by having an impact on the kids that I've coached? I like to say yes, because, I've been doing this long enough where I've got athletes that have graduated, gone off into the world and gone to the military, gone to school, gotten married, they're having kids, and they come back to me and say things. I can pick up the phone and call some of them and they go, hey coach, how you doing? And just like we've seen each other yesterday. So I get that feedback, but I hope even for the ones that I don't, I'm making an impact, I'm making a difference, and I'm inspiring them in some way in their life. So that's in a nutshell kind of what my chapter was about. There's definitely more in there, and there are definitely great authors in this book. I definitely want to encourage everybody to get this book, get a copy and give it away as a gift, order from us and have us sign it for you, and help spread the inspiration and the impact that myself and these other coaches have had. Chip, Sugar Ray, thank you guys again so much for including me in this project and just letting me be around so many other great and impactful people.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate the story. It's the impact that we make, the little that we have to give today makes a huge impact on the lives of others later, and just hearing you discuss, that scenario, I'm sure everybody on it was like me, like they're reflecting on that same coach that did that for them.
Right.
And then now doing that for others. I mean, like the whole time I'm thinking of the same people, man, like it's in my life. And so it's truly a blessing to be able to do that. So thank you, Coach. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Our next coach that we have coming up is Coach Tamika Newman.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We got you.
Awesome.
You doing all right
yeah.
today, Coach?
I am. Post church, I'm doing amazing.
Let's go. Well, hey, let's tell them a little bit about who you are and your background and what it is you do, Coach.
Awesome. So my background, I was raised by my grandparents, and if you're raised by your grandparents, you kind of know what that looks like. So my life looked like church, home, school, and repeat. I was raised by amazing grandparents. They gave us a great foundation. I grew up in a really amazing church. And what I remember in terms of influence was the adults in my life walk the walk as they talk the talk. And you had to do that with me as a kid, because one misstep and I'm like, hey, you're not doing that, I'm not doing it. But I was obsessed with sports at 12 years old. Didn't really have the resources to do it at a high level, but nonetheless, sports was my life. I was either going to be that or the next Pam Oliver. So either way, sports was going to be my thing. I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought. My chapter, sorry, I'll back up. About 3 years ago, the start of COVID, we went home March 11th. I was at the college level, and, we never went back to that fall. But I wanted to write a book, a few things that happened in my life. I had transitioned from high school coaching, really was going to get out of coaching until my teammate called me to come to Prairie View to help bring the program back to where it was when we were there. And my grandmother, who raised me, passed that December. So now, for the first time in my life since I was that 12-year-old kid determined to be somebody, I was able to sit down and reflect. And that's when I started thinking about impact and influence. And I read somewhere, a child psychologist said, it didn't matter how you were raised. There was no real indication how your kids would turn out based on what you went through as a child. The real indicator was, had you made sense of, your childhood. So while I had a bright idea to write a book, I needed to make sense of my childhood because I was going to talk about parenting. And then I needed, as a coach and a leader, I needed to make sense of how I was coached and led as an athlete. And so when I did that, I started naming all these people and how they impacted me. And so I kind of started the impact of influence journey about 3 years ago, and decided that I needed to be really intentional about walking the talk and being true to living out my creed is one way you can put it. And so I was really excited to do this, to participate in this project. I had thousands of people I could have selected, highlighted in my chapter, and I was able to narrow it to a lady. I wasn't very detailed yesterday, but basically it was a coach, a former college coach, former All-American track star, on a hiatus or sabbatical from coaching to raise her kids. She had become a middle school coach, and she saw me playing a high school varsity game at her feeder high school, and playing volleyball, and had made a phone call to the volleyball coach at Prairie View. While that was happening, the basketball coach at Prairie View had reached out to me. And by the time they conversated about me, it was like, absolutely, she can come. I've already, heard that name before. And fast forward, met her years later. When she got back into college coaching, she would bring me over to run the camp part, her summer camps as the lead director. And, I've known her ever since. But very quick story, I now do coaches education. And I can remember when I was a child, when I first got into coaching, and much like my childhood, as an adult, there was always the saying that, the student, the athlete, the child, they're going to need me. I'm never going to need them, right? I already have a degree. I already have a profession. I already have a career. And the other 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got a job consulting because I do coaching education with the volleyball school here in the Houston area. And guess who recommended me? It was my former player at Prairie View. And I just said that to say that I now view that different. And I view that differently, which affects what I teach the coaches and how I treat athletes. Not only are they're not just gonna need you later, right? They're not gonna need you to verify that they have great character, great work ethic, that they're resilient. But if we're doing our job the right way as adults and living our creed, then there's a chance in this day and age that you're going to need them to vouch for who you are. And can they do that? Have you been who you said that you are? Have you been about what you say you're about? And that just proved to me the impact of influence. It's like, wow, my player recommended. That was probably one of the bigger contracts I've had since I started consulting. So that's my spiel. Again, I'm excited for everybody to read the chapter. And thank you for bringing me on board, Chip. It's been amazing ever since I met you and I saw that you were an ex-coach. We're always a coach. And that you weren't talking about coaching. You were talking about being successful, period. And that was my goal when I got out of coaching, is to be able to speak to everyone and that the lessons we learned in sports, whether it be from coach or being an athlete, that they really did apply to the real world. Because we say that, but we don't necessarily go into detail about how it helps you in the real world. So that's my spiel. Thank you guys so much for having me. And Sugar Ray, nice to meet you.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. And you're so right. Just all of those things that we grow through coming up, being church folk, like you said, going through those trials and tribulations, knowing that if learning that if you're going to do something, you do it right. All of those things that you're taught, those are transferable skills. And yes, you learn that in sport. Yes, you learn that however you learn that through whatever sport you play. But that's life. I mean, you think about all of us as coaches, all of those things that we learn playing our sports, it's the same thing that we do now as, husbands, wives, teachers, coaches, career. It's the same thing. It hadn't changed. And so I love how you said that, because those transferable skills truly help us be successful in our lives. So thank you so much, Coach, for saying that. All right. Our next author that we have, and I think is our last one that we on with us, is going to be Coach Deidre Vasquez. Let's go.
Hey, Coach Baker. Hey, Sugar Ray. Yes, I'm Deidre Vasquez. I've known Chip for a few years now. We both coached together at Conroe High School, and basically just stayed in touch. And now we're at a different school, and we happen to be at the same school. So anyway, so I've known Coach Baker for a long time. Very honored to be part of this book. First and foremost, because I love being a coach and I love having an impact on teenagers. And so this is a true honor. This is actually my second book to be part of. I was also part of volume 3. And so this is my second time to write. Writing probably is something that I maybe not so scared of now, since I've written in 2 books, but writing, I'm a math teacher also besides a coach. And so math is my thing. And so putting my thoughts together on paper and making it sound eloquent, it was a challenge for me, but I did the best I could. And I hope that this chapter is enjoyable for everyone, and they kind of see where I'm coming from in this. I've been coaching and teaching, and this is hard for me to believe because I don't feel like I'm that old, but I've been coaching and teaching for 26 years. Growing up through school, I was involved in sports, and any sport and every sport I could play. I remember growing up little out in the cul-de-sac. I mean, the best kickball games ever. So sports are like in my blood. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they're like, oh, something about the movies. And I'm like, forget the movies, just put on a game. That's sports is just in my blood. So it's been a huge part of my life. I played 4 sports in high school and blessed to play college basketball as well. And now I'm a coach. So I never get tired of it. I love the game, and I love teaching the game and working with young teenagers. So the title of my chapter is Unlimited. And in that chapter, I talk about all the people that I didn't realize it at the time. But looking back, just what gifts they blessed me with, and really gave me unlimited potential to be successful down the road. And so I talk about my parents and my brother, and then, just growing up and how they contributed to me feeling like I was unlimited. And then kind of the coolest thing, which when we were younger, we lived in Ohio. And then my 8th grade year, halfway through my 8th grade year, we moved to Texas. And which at the time I thought was like the worst thing that could ever happen. Like, you're leaving your family, you're leaving your friends, and you're going to a new part of America to live. But I feel like there's a plan for everything and a reason for everything, and God knew. So I was blessed in high school, Nacogdoches High School, go Lady Dragons, to be coached by amazing coaches. And they all contributed to my life in different ways, and to my life as being a student athlete in different ways. And I just felt blessed that I was able to have so many coaches to learn from. And so I played 4 sports in high school, and there was never any kind of, selfishness from the coaches. Like, they understood that when volleyball season was over, it was basketball time, and I would not be in the volleyball off season. And it was okay with the volleyball coach that I wasn't in her off season, because I felt like she understood that it wasn't just about her as the volleyball coach. It was about, making the student athlete the best person, and, prepared for their future that they could be. And so, and then I went on to basketball and had an amazing coach there. And then after basketball season, track and softball. So all the coaches just, if whatever season I was in, they were always encouraging me and giving me their best. So I just felt like I was able to learn 4 times as much stuff, because I had 4 times as many coaches as a lot of people do that specialize in one sport. So I'm pretty firm on this. I feel like it's a disservice as a coach to expect an athlete to specialize, especially if they don't, if they have a passion to do other things. Anyway, so I just talked about how important that was in my life, looking back about how many avenues they opened up for me and how it helped me be successful in college. And, it's hard being a student athlete and making it through all 4 years, but I feel like they just set the table so well for me to be successful. I was empowered by them, I guess is the best way to put that. So, anyway, that's my chapter. Pretty passionate about coaching. I'm pretty passionate about teaching in the classroom. I love the whole, I just feel like maybe that's what I was put here to do. So I just feel blessed, I guess is a great way to say that. So another author in this book, do you want to talk about the other author that I'm going to talk about, Coach Baker, or can I go ahead?
I would love for you to mention the other author that you may happen to know that is in this book as well. I would love for you to do that.
All right, cool. So my brother actually has a chapter in the book as well. His title is "Don't Stop Believing," and you know, I haven't had the opportunity yet to read his chapter, but yesterday when we had the book reveal or whatever, he talked about how he talked about me and his book, and he talked about our uncle. Our uncle played a big part in our lives. So just our uncle was the first, I guess, maybe person in our family to go to college and play collegiate sports.
Wow.
And so there was a big age gap between my mom, who was the oldest in the family, and then my uncle, who was the youngest, like 15 or 16 years. So, you know, he was kind of like a big brother to us. And so we'd hop in our grandpa's car and head to the football games on Saturdays and go cheer on our uncle. And so I'm sure that my brother talks about how that was such a special moment. And we didn't realize at the time, like he was showing us that, hey, you can do this too.
Yeah.
So anyway, my brother's a pretty fabulous guy. And I think y'all will enjoy his chapter as well. So he couldn't be here today because he's actually taking our uncle to the airport. He was down visiting from Ohio. So
Yeah.
it was great to see him and him to kind of be part of this book launch. So,
Yes.
yeah.
You know, just like you said, your brother, he is a fabulous guy, but he also has a fabulous sister, and they also come from a fabulous family. And so, you know, those things don't just coincidentally happen. You know, great things. And Coach DP said, great people. So, and so just truly grateful that all of you guys, and you know, Coach Vasquez is the last author for today, but just truly grateful for you guys. And I'm gonna turn it over to Sugar Ray as we wrap up.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, I'm honored and humbled, or as we say in Houston, humbled to to have all these amazing authors that joined us today. And so I just want to bring everybody back for one last wrap up, but I got a quick commercial. And believe it or not, this was like I said, we just hit 300 yesterday. So I'm still kind of floating. I don't show my excitement like everybody else though. So I just want to bring one last testimony from the guy who launched us, who launched the bestseller program with us. The very first, Reggie Rush, former NFL football player, introduced by Mr. Chip Baker. So
let's get it.
Before I go, if I can say something, man, about you, like you've helped me with this whole process. I mean, I can't even put into words how much I appreciate what you've done. And I'm going to tell everybody who's watching, who's going to be watching, if you want to be an author and you want to get your book out there, man, this is the dude for you. Because, you know, someone referred me to you and you were like on the phone, boom. It didn't even take you no time to, you know, get with me and put this thing together. And within a couple of weeks, man, I'm a best-selling author, you know. So kudos to you and what you do. And I promise you that I'm going to try my best to bring people. I've actually turned a couple people into, you know, program them or trying to program them to write a book because of you. And I want to say thank you. I appreciate you and all the success that the book does. Hey, some of that goes definitely to you. So anyone out there, man, highly, highly, highly recommend it.
That's all you, brother. You got me over here feeling like somebody chopping an onion. So yeah. So yeah, man. It's hard to believe August of 2020, we were at 1. And now, what is this? June 5th, 2022. We're at 300. So we are extremely appreciative of all of the amazing artists. Congratulations to you all, the Impact of Influence Volume 4, for making this now becoming Amazon #1 best-selling artist. I see Chip and DP with 5 Amazon #1 bestsellers. Miss Jessica J. Lo Perez with 2, Manny with 2, Miss Deidre with 2, Jason with 1, Miss Tamika with 1 through BOBM. I know you got some others out there, and I'm extremely proud of each and every one of y'all, and welcome y'all to the BOBM Bestsellers Club. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and close this out, because y'all are coaches. So listen, I'm here for it.
Well, I want to say, man, again, Shay, thank you so much for all that you do, how you do what you do. Thanks to the authors for being part of it and their missions. And I want to ask that everybody that is watching this live or the replay or whatever, I want to ask that you take the time to go through. Yes, get the book. We want you to do that. But more than that, I promise you, if you take the time to go and follow every one of these coaches, authors, you will be glad that you did, because their missions are amazing. What they do to give back and pour into people, it's amazing. And they impact and influence in a great way from a pure heart. And I know you got that from hearing them speak today, that all of them know that it's bigger than us. It's not about us. It's about what we can do to influence and impact. And I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to be surrounded by these superheroes. So Sugar Ray, again, thank you. Authors, again, thank you. Everybody that's watching the interview that love us and support us, regardless, thank you. Coaches that raised us, thank you. We're truly grateful, and let's go get it.
Yeah, you know what we got to say on 3.
All right, let's get it. 1, 2, 3, go get it.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, Coach Nick, I gotta get you this one. Boom.
All right. Well, once again, we want to thank y'all for tuning in with us on Book Talk Live. We got another amazing group coming next week, so we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.